This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so today is Tuesday, April 7th, and as always, everything that we're going to be talking about today is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. So we got a pretty slow morning out there. Well, there's some good stuff, but it's pretty much the same stuff that we've been watching for the past 3 weeks. Not a lot of new things going on, but one thing that I do want to add to what we've been looking at, obviously, we've been looking at CCL and RCL for the main part, but NCLH, I kind of like the way that it's trading this morning, pretty much better than I do like the RCL and CCL. So coming over to that 12 level, we can see we got a nice little show of hand that came in here. Now, the print personality, based off of what we're seeing going on out there, is kind of thick. So we do need to keep that in mind. We really would like to see a lot more than that at 12. But based off of the selling that we had that came in afterwards, you can see it was right here at 830. Okay, we really didn't pull back the way that we should have. Okay, we should have came under at least 25 cents. I mean, it just hasn't. So based off the selling that followed in afterwards, we are getting a little bit buying above, but I would be, watching for a bar back down underneath that 12 before we come back up. And 1250 being such a big level, it would be a perfect spot for us to kind of not be able to hit and make that pullback underneath the 12. So that's a perfect, the spot that I'm going to be looking at coming into the morning. All right, now we can see that AAL and Dow are moving today. So we're going to obviously, be watching these just because, like I said, there's not a lot of new stuff that's out there. But AAL, we just came up to that 11 spot. Now, I really wish we would have seen a lot more than this at 11, especially just with the, size of the order that we see sitting out there. But you know what? Overall, it still is a show of hand. We just, we definitely want to see a little bit more. So we're pulling back from there as we come back up to that 11. I would be expecting to see this order. Right now it's 28,000 shares. It's more than that because this is only the NASDAQ. Okay, but we would expect to see a lot more coming in at that 11, especially based off of what we saw yesterday with the amount of buying that was coming into it. So right now, same type of deal, pull back underneath and looking for a trigger back towards that 11. Just keep in mind the order is there. So more than likely, we're going to end up seeing more ask prints at that 11 level. Next thing we're looking at is Dow. So Dow coming up to that 25.50. We have some nice prints that came in a little bit earlier. So we got some decent show of hands. I mean, it's not the best, but at the same time, it's not terrible. So we can see right here at that 25 level, we had some ask prints, and then coming up that second time right here, you can see around the burst, basically between 25.45 and 25.56. You only have two ask prints though there, but it shows it goes to show you that we have some shorter term prints that came in, and it did make a little bit of a 25-cent push. I'm not going to be expecting a huge pullback off of that because it literally is only two ask prints at that level. So still going to be expecting a pullback, but not a huge one. And then looking for, once again, same type of deal as AAL. We're going to be looking for that pullback down and then trigger back up. Remember, 25 is a very hard level to hold. So if we start seeing a ton of buying coming into this, when the market opens, I would not be shocked to see them bring it underneath 25 again before they actually release it and start making money towards that upside. Now, few sideless stocks. First, DPW. Now, the thing about DPW is that unfortunately kind of died a little bit from when I was looking. So if you look at the actual consolidation itself, it was a little bit higher before when I was looking here. The fact that it kind of broke underneath is not a great sign. I'm still going to keep it on our side list because if you look, it's really kind of like an extended staircase. So as long as we kind of hold right about here, right at that 125 level-ish, where we originally made that move towards that upside, it still has the possibility of jumping back up. And we do have some decent prints near the highs too, if it lets me go back. Yeah, right here. So you can see, basically pulled up to 160, but look at the buying underneath 160. It's pretty decent compared to everything else that we've seen in here this morning because the print personality, a lot of the bursts are only, only have 4 or 5 at the most type prints that are coming into them. So that definitely shows us a lot right here, looking at those ones right underneath where the highs are. So as long as we can hold here and we get a trigger back towards the upside, we can certainly, anticipate a move back towards, basically a triple top that we are, once we start getting a little bit of movement, it's going to start gravitating there like a magnet. Next thing we're looking at is PSTI. So this is another one where I actually like it a little bit better now, but one thing that you need to look at is that when I look at the minute chart, it consolidates it for me. But take a look at the 15-minute. You can see that it's really actually still, even though it looks like it started tanking back down, it's actually still sitting in a pretty bullish consolidation. If you look here, this is a nice, bull flag because they originally started with an up movement with that post. So, the pattern itself is definitely bullish. As long as we can get some buying in here, there's no reason we can't see this thing make a nice push towards that upside. So I know right here, if you're, the untrained eye might see it as, it's going to, taking a hit and it's done, but it really isn't at all. I kind of like the pattern that we're sitting in, especially 250,000 shares just came in at the 450 on that print line. Okay, at 840. So this is a real nice spot for us to be looking at, and especially a really nice spot that we know a market maker sitting there for them to actually be able to release it. Next thing is AKER. So we talked about this yesterday. This is kind of a little bit more on the downside of the bottom part of my list, just because it kind of made that push. But the thing about that push towards the upside is when it hit its highs, we didn't really see anyone get out. I went back and looked at the prints before, so I didn't really see, like I said, much selling coming into this on its way down, which is very, odd, especially for a cheaper stock. So it definitely, even though it kind of looks a little bit ugly, it certainly has the possibility and the potential for us to jump back up towards. First, we're going to start with the 750, but then obviously, if we get some of those jackhammer prints that come in to break this 750 level down, back up towards the double top from right around that 850 level. So another one, nice, definitely a nice setup within it. It's just, at this point, we just need the prints to come in, and that's why it's on our side list. Just a few other things, just to talk about, just because we, just to, keep an eye on. ZM has been absolutely phenomenal to us, and I don't know if you guys are. What do you mean by jackhammer? It's something that we went over in the most recent round of classes. Basically, what that means is that when you have a really strong, like, for instance, let's say 120 right here, when you have a really strong support level at 120 and a psychological level, what you need is off-level prints to come into it and act like a jackhammer. Basically, what it does is it takes that concrete support and starts breaking it down. The more off-level prints that you have going into it, or jackhammer prints, the easier the level is going to be to actually get broken, and the quicker it's going to happen. All right. Okay. So ZM, we're talking about coming in. Once again, it's sitting at right around that 120 level, and it's just been a very smooth, easy trade, following the rules very, very well. So keep an eye on it. If it's too expensive, it's out of your price range, that's fine. But I just want to bring that up because I've had just a wonderful time trading it, and it really follows the rules very, very well. On top of the fact that it's got an $8 range, which that doesn't ever hurt whatsoever. All right, guys, anything else out there that I missed? One other thing just to keep an eye on too is Oxy. OXY is coming up towards that 15 level. Remember the amount of selling that we have towards the bottom side of this thing. So going to be interesting what we see coming into that 15 level. CANF, okay, so nice little pop up from before. Let's see what we got print-wise. Some decent prints right underneath that 2 level from 9 o'clock when I first started talking. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I just definitely would like to see more buying coming into it towards us too, but absolutely. CANF. All right. BABA close to 200. You know what's funny? In these past, I'm going to say the past month, I haven't looked at one market stock. Okay, and when I mean market, I haven't looked at Apple. I haven't looked at BABA. There's just been so many things, that have been out there for us that kind of just easier trades, cheaper trades and stuff like that. I haven't even been looking at this stuff, but yeah, definitely. And it looks like, really no prints this morning, but interesting. All right, guys. So other than that, remember Traders Exchange at 12:30. Make sure we send in our questions and topics. I will talk to everyone in the chat, and happy trading.